Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This is Rothchilds. Today, well, I have pretty much a lot of notes that I want to read to you guys. But before I get into that, I got to tell you about the timeline that I went into. It's almost just like that other timeline here on this channel. I talked about how we can go into other timelines and pass messages. Um, Now, this one other timeline I went into that's already uploaded, where I went into this college and I had a envelope to give this professor. Now, I did not know what was on that envelope. I was not supposed to know. I was supposed to go into this timeline, pass that note, and that guy, that professor, was supposed to obtain that knowledge. So, but when we go into timelines, agents will be there to try to stop us. Well, same thing happened with this particular timeline that I went into. The reason why we do this, of course, we are having timeline wars as well. And you guys may have heard that term of timeline wars. We are fighting on all fronts. I told you how certain factions of the government, these Illuminati of higher ups, they want their timeline to be played out. So they use technology to go into these timelines, to travel into these timelines, and they will try to take out specific people so that their timeline can be more profound. So we go into these timelines, and some of these timelines are future timelines. Timelines pertaining to how our conscious is expanding, they will merge together. And I told you sometimes when timelines merge, you're only supposed to get like that deja vu. Okay, you're not supposed to get the Mandela effect where, and this is have happened where these bad guys, these Illuminatis, these serpents, they will travel into these timelines and cause problems or eliminate people that are supposed to have these more important missions to help secure the positive timelines, the timeline that we are actually supposed to be on, the organic timeline. Okay? But when they disrupt these timelines for their negative agendas, they cause ripple effects across the multidimensional aspect. They disrupt the organic God source timeline that we all supposed to be merging into and ascending on and learning and growing. Well, they're trying to disrupt that. So we are still having these timeline wars. Anyway, let me get into it and tell you what happened. So when I pop into this particular timeline, now I'm in this bathroom. Now the guy that I passed this message to cannot remember his face. I'm not supposed to bring that information back. But I made sure that it got through to that particular person. So, as this guy that I passed this message to, now you got to understand that our higher spiritual self is working. Our higher selves are working with the lower conscious as well, and we going in. Whether it be for the positive people here, the white hats that are here, no matter what, when we pass these messages, We're not supposed to obtain and bring that information back. You're supposed to stay in that timeline. You know, the more important information, the more secretive information, we're not supposed to bring that back. But anyway, when the guy leave out the bathroom, this other guy come in. Now this is an agent. These are, now they use super soldiers. Now, when I say super soldiers, don't always think of a guy gonna be my size, bearing, you know, looking, intimidating. But this very scrawny, Caucasian guy, young boy, looked like it was in his early 20s, come in the bathroom, and he walked up to the urinal. And as I'm beginning to walk out now, he turned to me. This guy turned to me, young boy turned to me, and we linked telepathically. When this link happened telepathically, there are no verbal words from this point. We grab hands like this, both our hands grabbed. Now, we're not only psychically linked, but we are physically linked. So we are battling each other psychically and physically. Now, I got to give it to this young boy. He knew his shit. Psychically, and this is what I'm talking about. You have positive psychic soldiers, and then you have negative psychic soldiers. These are considered still super soldiers. So, and I'm linked with this guy, and we are battling on both fronts, psychically and physically. And we're almost damn near equal. But he's trying to get in my head. He's trying to get into my head psychically to win the strength battle up here. Because if I begin to doubt, this is what I talk about in my other videos. If you begin to doubt, then you downplay your spiritual abilities. I was not about to let that happen. But when you are dealing with psychic beings, and their altar, this guy had an altar. Now, I'm not in my military altar at that point, because if I had been in my military altar, I probably would have killed him. But I'm keeping this particular psychic and physical battle equally distributed. And for that one thought, I wanted to break him. And my higher conscience is just telling me to just go ahead and pop back into this timeline. But as I begin to get ready to pop back in this timeline now, I'm still linked with this guy, and I'm thinking he know what I'm about to do. I'm about to switch timelines. And I think what he really wanted is to follow me psychically back into this timeline. I did not let that happen. I broke the connection. I psychically broke the connection with this guy and came back into my timeline. But I want to tell you guys that this is going on. This is going on as you guys are living your everyday life, doing what you do. You're not understanding what's going on from behind the scenes. And this may not be your mission, but there's more guys like me, and there's more guys like that guy. These are agents. They work for the dark forces. They work for these Illuminatis. They work for these corporations with special interests that want their timeline to be played out. So, in order to keep mankind on a more organic timeline, we have to go to specific people into the future, into these other timelines, and pass these specific messages on. This is going on, without a doubt. Now, I'm able to give you that information, but not even I, for security reason, not even I can tell you this other part because I don't know it. I'm not supposed to know it. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But anyway, let me get into these notes. Uh, Now, I have two sets of notes that I want to share with you guys. The last set of notes, I'm doing this for my brother that I haven't seen here on my channel in a while. I talked about him in one of my videos. Um, he's a kick-ass kind of guy. You know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. You're a kick-ass kind of guy. And look, I appreciate you coming back. Um, and I'll talk about what's going on in the Middle East. I'll save that for last. Okay, bear with me. You guys know about my typo skills. Give me a minute, because I tied these notes together, and I'm trying to get to the part. Okay, I got it. I'm going to tell you what the white hats won't tell you. The bad ETs are influencing the upper authorities of the military. They are definitely shooting down positive beings that are a part of the Galactic Federation councils. And for the beings that survived the crash, they are brought into a interrogation process. Some of them are killed for their genetic material. Others are held captive. The problem is the lower military personnel have no idea that these are the same beings that are trying to help humanity. I told you guys before that these positive beings would rather die than to harm a human being. They understand the soul and ascension and return back to the council. So they will rather die than to harm a human being. What is going on is that these upper assholes, whether they be generals, and these generals also have higher people above them that run these dark militaries. Okay, so once they down a positive being, because that's what's going on. The beings that survive the crash, they take them into an interrogation process and try to obtain information. A lot of times they don't get the information. They will take that genetic material. They are torturing these beings as well. Okay, they are torturing them, and this is what pisses me off about these dark mother effers. And they don't get the information, so they will take that genetic material from these other beings, and then they will create other beings. They try to obtain information through their genetics as well. Okay, so they are trying to do that as well. But anyway, as these beings die, as these beings leave their physical vessel, they soul travel back to their ships. Now, well, let me get into these other notes because you'll begin to understand. Okay, they understand the soul and the ascension and how to return back to the council, or might even incarnate to help from the inside. This is what a lot of us have done. So, a lot of humans have been in this galactic war. Some of us have died in this war, and then we come here. Some of us willingly come here, and some of us just migrate here and get trapped and begin to awaken at some point. This is what has happened to a lot of you guys here. A lot of you guys are beginning to remember these wars, just like Solis, my brother Solis. Now, you remember you was telling me about Modak. Now, this could be true. Now, I didn't see that as I read you. I did see you as a on Mars, and you look so much like the Dracos that you can infiltrate these bad reptilians, and you were the equivalent of an intelligence officer. You did your job well. So I commend you for being a part of something to help your race out. But you also could have been what you said. I just did not see that. So always, whatever you feel has happened and you are connected to that 9 times out of 10, that happened. Now, I might not pick up on that, but you have. I pick up on this other information and pass that to you. And that's a shout out to my brother Solis. Okay, let me get back to this. Okay, yeah. Well, I finished that part. So yeah, the military is definitely down. And what is going on with this? The bad ETs have given the military high technology to down these crafts. So they have this technology. They are breaking, and I've already said this before. I've said it before. They have given these bad ETs. Now you go back and look at the information that I've already provided. Now, this is coming out. Other remote viewers are getting the same thing that I've been talking about. I've already put this information out. But they are now uploading the same information. Now, if you go to a Farsight, they have a lot of information. I consider these guys, I trust Farsight. I trust Courtney, and I trust his whole team. But if you want legitimate information, stick to the remote viewers that you love and trust to put this information out, because it is true. The military has always been getting high-tech weaponry from the bad ETs to shoot them down. And these are our positive starseed family members that they are shooting down. I'm talking about Entorians. I'm talking about Lyrans. I'm talking about Pleiadians. And the list go on. Andromedans. And there are also other factions of reptilians that are positive. They are downing their craft. Okay? Now, let me move on to my other brother. You know, like I said, he's a kick-ass type of guy, and I like him. He understands that there are positive reptilians as well. He know about this stuff, but he was wondering about what's going on in the Middle East. So I connected with that information, and now I'm gonna read these notes. So bear with me. Okay, this is for one of my reptilian brothers. He's more positive oriented. He asked me about the Middle East and that the whole conflict, about the whole conflict that's over there. Okay, okay, what's going on in the Middle East? Okay, now you have the whole fight. Don't listen to the media. Okay, it's all bullshit that they put out. These are ley lines that they are fighting over. These are ley lines that are energetically opening up portals. Okay, now let me get more into these notes. What's going on in the Middle East? It has everything to do with the ley lines. So you got positive ley lines that are trying to be controlled by negative forces. These ley lines have energetic portals that are open at specific times, dealing with star lines. The conflict is that when these ley lines and the star lines link up, portals are activated to different worlds. So you have ley lines that energetically power stargates. Pertaining to the alignment throughout the cosmos, these ley lines are energetically opening up and aligning with specific star um, groups, different planetary groups. You may have the Pleiadians that will line up. You may have um, the Orion constellation that may line up. You may have Sirius B and all of these other places. Well, you have positive lineups with these worlds, and then you have negative controlling factions. Well, they fight over what time these stargates are opening because you have positive ones that will come through these stargates, travel through the net. It's a better way to get in here to do some work instead of coming through that net. You understand that net? It's almost impossible to get through EarthNet. And I'll talk about that later as well. But let me finish these notes. Okay. They want to keep these ley lines from activating these stargates, allowing positive factions of our galactic brothers in. Also, this happens with the negative factions as well. The Earth ley lines can open up gateways to controlling forces, allowing them access to our planet as well. So you have competing forces controlling the Stargates. Neither one wants the other faction in on planet Earth. Reptilians from many different tribes are fighting to help humanity, and some are against humanity. We all know this. And like I said, this is why I don't lump just all reptilians together, because it is not that simple. It really isn't. You have hybrid reptilians right now that are not in the upper echelon, that are not considered um, these negative ones, like the Rothchilds and these other rotten asses that's out here that consider themselves, higher up within these families. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, you have legitimate hybrid children that go to work every day, right alongside, but they have high reptilian, high enough, but not considered a part of these families. And they get treated just like the rest of us, but they are not a part of these families. Can they be manipulated? Yes, just like any human species can. It is no different. It is no different. We all can be manipulated through 5G frequency, and you guys are so stuck on 5G. They are using higher frequencies than 5G. Okay, they are using 6 and 7, and they are more or less like lower frequency weapons that they can control the aggression within your mind. They can target your energetic field and then beam that weapon at you, cause an aggression. And this is what's going on with these cops. Now, I'm going to be uploading short videos of these cops that I've been talking about. And you remember how they used the media used to have these cops harming unarmed black men. And I kept telling people that they're only doing that to start a race war. That was an agenda. Now you're seeing that they are doing this. They have been doing this to white males and white females. And this is what I've been trying to tell people. It's not just black people. Okay. They only were showing that for an agenda, but they have been killing white folks this whole damn time. And I'm going to expose it for what it is. Now, you have reptilians that are in the negative factions. They like to take jobs with authority over humanity. And they will do this with lower reptilians too. If you are not a part of them, and you can be reptilian, you can be reptilian. You are not a part of their agenda, then they are going to treat you the same way. But it has to be exposed. It has to be, because people think that these are just regular cops. They are not. They are not. So also, they can get hit with this beam. You can have good reptilian cops and you can have bad reptilian cops. This is true. And then you can have humans in the mix, in the middle. But if a reptilian get hit with that frequency weapon, it will cause major aggression within him. Now you're talking about a species that have an extra Y chromosome, making them aggressive already. And this can happen with the positive reptilians. They can get hit with that weapon just like we human beings and cause aggression. And I tell you, they watch us and they listen through the technology that we have within our homes. So if an argument breaks out within the home and it's just a basic disagreement, well, they already listening to it and they can beam it up. You're talking about a whole system network running alongside AI that monitors everyone here on the planet, and you have different groups along the planet that have this particular system to keep the aggression going because it is an energy that can be harnessed and fed off. So they like to cause this. This is what has happened. And I'm going to tell you, the people that it affects is the ones that do not take responsibility for their own damn emotions. Now, you can have several people within the household, your household, and they will target the weakest one, the weakest conscience within your household. Now, I like to talk about me because it can hit home. I don't like to single out anybody because you don't know. If I start naming people, you won't know who these people are. So I, as a light warrior, light worker, when we come into this existence, sometimes we get set up with partners that will have these low conscience, and they will be used to hold you back spiritually. And I told you guys in other videos that when you are married to someone that do not take responsibility for their own emotions, their own actions, and they play victim instead of growing their conscience, they will cause problems. And you will see these things in the beginning of your relationship. These are what we call red flags. If we do not pick up on these red flags and see them for what they are, then you're asking for trouble later on. You're asking for it. This particular force, this negative force, this energy force, is almost like a predator. Any predator prey off and seek out the weakest of the bunch. It will not go up against something that is strong. It will not. It prey on the weakest. So if your conscience is weak, if you in the victim mentality, if you easily to be in the victim mentality, then it will attach to you like a parasite and use you. This is why a lot of relationships, a lot of marriages don't work. It's because there is someone in that conscience that wants to play victim instead of seeing the energy for what it is and moving past it. You have to move past that. You have to take responsibilities for your own emotions. You have to. And like I told you, we are here to get a job done. We are here to get a job done. So it's bigger than a relationship, it's bigger than a marriage. Sometimes you're going to have to separate your conscience from that weakest one that wants to be like a parasite because they share that symbiotic relationship. They both become a host and then they want to attach to you and bring down your energetic field, your conscience, and keep you at this low vibrational frequency. You can have people at your work. You can have people that you encounter, family members that take on this parasitic relationship with this force, and they know your energy. This other force will work through them to seek you out. They will talk against you. They will make you look like the bad person. Okay? So always be aware of that. Always be aware of it. Anyway, that was the last of the notes. Like I said, that's the whole conflict. The fighting over the Stargates, because when these alignments happen, the positive groups can come in through the Stargates. They can come in. They don't have to pass through this net. They don't have to pass through it. Same thing with the negative ones. Earth is pretty much, it was supposed to be, it is a school, but it's ran by these negative forces that are trying to invert it. And as we break free consciously from their programming through the television, through the news media, through all these television shows that don't mean anything, through the school system, through the medical system, through technology that do not sustain you in any way, through this whole government pyramid scheme that do not benefit you in any way, you're taking your power back from these fallen Anunnakis. These modern day Anunnakis now, we're taking our freedom back. We're expanding our conscience. We're being more loving and caring towards each other. Just always know that they are using technologies to keep you sedated and dumbed down, okay? But none of their system is working. So the positive timeline is going to continue to rise. They wanted to start a reset. That's what this whole COVID was, and the shot. Now I'm gonna upload this on YouTube, but I'm also gonna upload this on Rumble as well. So I want you guys to understand that the system has been lying to you. The system has always been against you. It's a pyramid scheme. And we need to come together to fight against it on all fronts. We outnumber them. If we really wanted to end this, we could end it just like that. How do you end it? I talked about this before. As a cold collective conscience, we have to do this together. And that's the whole thing. A lot of people don't want to band together as a human race and say, we don't want your money. From this point on, we're not paying mortgage, we're not paying rent, we're not paying for none of the shit that we created. We created this system. We created it. They just used the money system to keep us in control. Humans built this civilization. They manipulated us and made us think that their way was the best way. Money drives you to get up. Money drives you to pay the bill. Even the credit system, it's all a scam. We walked away. If we stopped taking their money and say, you know what, I'm going to get up, go to work for my neighbors, my family, my friends, and just tell them, we don't need your money. We're going to do this freely. It becomes a free society. These mother effers would be looking at themselves like, damn, we just lost our control over a human race. They're actually doing it for themselves. The whole pyramid scheme will crash. They bind you. They control you through the money. They keep you poor through the money. Without money, there would be no poor. If you wanted a Lamborghini, if you wanted a nice house, if you wanted a nice apartment, there's plenty of it out there, and you should have it for free. We built this system for us. We build it. It's our system. And we should be doing this for each other, not for a paycheck. That's how they control us. Money is the root of all evil. So with that being said, I'll leave it with I love, honor, and respect all of you guys. I wish you guys a blessed Sunday and have a good day.